The story kicks off with Hana, who has been crushing on her teacher, Narumi, for as long as she can remember. As she's lost in her daydreams about him, Narumi enters the classroom and starts chatting with her. But their conversations get interrupted by Akane, another teacher, and Hana gets super irritated because she's convinced Narumi is into Akane. Feeling frustrated, Hana storms out of the classroom and runs into Mugi, her friend and secret crush. Mugi sees that Hana is upset and takes her outside, where he tries to comfort her by giving her a smooch. Although Hana and Mugi have been dating for a while, they both know that they're in love with other people. Narumi pops over to Hana's for dinner with her mom. He's been a regular there since he was young because he doesn't have a mom. After the meal, Hana walks him home and they reminisce about their times at sports festivals, which they used to go together since Hana's mom is always working and her dad is out of the picture. But things aren't all rosy for Hana because Narumi drops a bombshell. He wants to get married, and Hana is devastated. Mugi, on the other hand, is in the same boat with unrequited feelings for his former middle school tutor, Akane. And that's how Mugi and Hana found comfort in each other's company. So because of their shared heartache, Mugi and Hana become friends. One day, while hanging out and playing games at Mugi's place, Hana takes the brave step to ask him to be intimate with her. However, during their romantic encounter, Hana couldn't help but imagine being with her beloved Narumi. Despite this, Mugi and Hana ultimately decided to become a couple. They made a vow to never fall in love with each other, and that's how their unique love story began. Even though they agreed to keep things purely physical, Mugi was starting to feel like there was something more there, but was too afraid to bring it up. Then, over the next few weeks, they started spending more and more time together. They were practically inseparable, eating lunch together and even walking home hand in hand. Just when everything seemed perfect, a new girl named Mocha entered the scene and stirred up some serious drama. Out of nowhere, Mocha told Hana to stay away from Mugi, leaving everyone wondering what the heck was going on. Turns out Mugi's got a childhood friend, Mocha, who's been crushing on him for a while now. But here's the twist. Mocha's clingy behavior is starting to rub Hana the wrong way, big time. She's not about to let Mocha swoop in and take her man, so she tells her to back off. But Mocha's not having it. She thinks Hana's just using Mugi for his good nature and doesn't really love him. Things get heated between the two girls, and Mugi starts to worry that his girlfriend can't get along with the other girls. But that's not the case at all. Hana's a total gem, and it's just Mocha's possessive behavior that's causing all the drama. Hana's got a best friend named Sanai, and their friendship started with a bang when Hana saved Sanai from a pervert on a train. They've been tight ever since, but things take a surprising turn when Hana invites Sanai over for a sleepover. Sanai's nervous at first, but she tells herself it's all good, and they're just gonna have a fun night together. But before they fell asleep, Sanai drops a bombshell and confesses her feelings for Hana. Next thing you know, they're making out. Hana's caught off guard, but doesn't get mad, and instead explains that she's in a relationship with Mugi. But it's not a love match. Sanai's confused and Hana feels bad for making her cry. Meanwhile, Mugi's having his own troubles. He has a dream about his ex-girlfriend Mei and wakes up sweating bullets. But before he can ever catch his breath, Hana sneaks into his room for some alone time. At dinner, Hana finally spills the beans to Mugi about wanting to love him. But their heart-to-heart gets interrupted when Akane shows up with a former student, Takuya. It's clear they're on a date, and Hana's not happy about it. The next day, Hana decides to confront Akane about her behavior, but Akane puts on her innocent act and claims that Takuya's just a friend. But don't be fooled by her facade. Akane's got a dark side. Since middle school, she loved exploiting people's emotions and playing with their feelings, and she can't stand it when she's not the center of attention. When boys at the school started falling for Hana, Akane got so mad that she started flirting with Narumi just to hurt Hana's feelings. As if things couldn't get any worse, Akane sets Hana up for a nasty fall by inviting her to the music room where she knows Narumi is going to ask her out. Hana is devastated and runs out of school in despair, not wanting to break the news to Mugi. She wanders aimlessly until she runs into Sanai, who wants to talk. Sanai apologizes for her earlier behavior, but Hana is so emotional that she hugs her and they end up spending the night together. Even though Hana doesn't love Sanai in that way, she appreciates her compassion and care. However, Hana feels guilty for taking advantage of Sanai's love and decides to confront Akane once again. This time, Akane reveals her true self. and admits that she loves toying with the feelings of every guy around her. Hana is shocked by her callousness and seeks comfort from Sanai and Mugi. Akane is going on a date with Narumi just to toy with his emotions and doesn't even have any interest in him. And to add insult to injury, she casually tells Hana that she slept with Hana's crush. Hana is feeling crushed and disappointed in herself for becoming selfish like Akane. She knows she needs to make a change, so she finally decides to start dating Mugi for real. He's thrilled to hear this, and they both agree to be faithful to each other. Hana feels terrible for using Sanai and decides to end things with her. Sanai isn't taking this lying down though, and tells Hana that if she really wants to win Narumi's heart, she needs to be ruthless like Akane. That's not whom Hana wants to be, but she's not ready to give up on Narumi just yet. Hana knows she needs to change herself, and fast. It's time for her to take control of her life and figure out what she really wants. Hana runs into Takuya, Akane's ex, and agrees to go out with them. On their date, she pretends to have fun to keep him interested. Meanwhile, Mugi also tries to move on from Akane by going on a date with Mocha. They watch movies, and Mocha gets the kiss she always wanted. But Mugi feels guilty for leading her on and tells her he can't be with her because she's too important as a friend. Mocha's heart breaks, but she appreciates Mugi's honesty. The next day, Mugi and Hana make a pact to confess their love to their crushes before summer's end. They're ready to move on from their one-sided love and focus on each other. As they work on their homework together, they can't help but be lovey-dovey. The day of the confessions arrive, and Mugi meets Akane at a cafe. He pours his heart out, telling her he loves her even though he knows she's manipulative. Akane takes him to a love hotel, and Mugi is torn between his feelings for her and his desire to be with Hana. Meanwhile, Hana confesses to Narumi, and he kindly explains that he thinks of her as a little sister. Hana decides to move on and goes on a trip with Sanai. They meet Kirishima, Sanai's cousin, who also has unrequited love. He warns Hana to stay away from Sanai if she can't reciprocate her feelings. Hana takes his advice and rejects Sanai, leading them both to move on from their toxic relationship. The summer ends, and Hana returns to school, ready to start anew. Things are looking up for Hana, but not so much for Narumi. He discovers that Akane is a serial cheater, but shockingly, he doesn't get angry. Instead, he takes her on a trip and professes his love for her. His sincerity melts Akane's heart, and she agrees to marry him. Mugi is surprised to see how much Akane has changed, and she ends things with him. At the school festival, Hana and Mugi talk about how they were only together because they were lonely. They both agree that it's time to move on and find true love. Hana also patches things up with Sanai, who just wants to be friends. At Narumi and Akane's wedding party, Hana forgives Akane and hopes she can keep Narumi happy. And with that, Mugi and Hana set out on a new quest to find true love. And that wraps up today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.